Live from the News Center of the Philippine News Headline, this is PNH, the world best television station.
News without prejudice.
News without exception.
That inform it how it is.
Good afternoon, Philippines. I am Antoinette Marie Agsaulio.
And I am Francine Billy Cruz.
This is Philippine News Headline.
Our top stories for today. PH logs 15K more COVID-19 cases in the country and 146 more Filipinos abroad.
Meanwhile, the government of the Philippines has decided to put Manila and the places around it in lockdown to stop the cases from increasing rapidly.
VEP recommend to utilize the elderly on Sinovac.
Philippines closes border to foreigners and some citizens over COVID.
Philippines warns China of unwanted hostilities in sea dispute.
Unemployment worsens within 4.2 million jobless Filipinos in February according to PSA.
Filipino fishing communities find ways to protect their livelihoods against COVID-19 and climate change.
And for our news featured, Jolina Magdangal has the cutest plant corner and we're obsessed with it. For the details of our news.
The whole world is still battling the coronavirus disease pandemic, and as the number of cases arises, many are being worried.
The Department of Health reported 15,310 additional coronavirus disease cases on April to Friday, the country's highest single-day tally yet. Data from the DOH COVID-19 tracker showed that NCR has the most number of cases with 330,648, followed by Calabarzon with 126,483, Central Luzon with 53,740, Central Visayas 52,032, Western Visayas with 29,755. The data is as of April 1. Meanwhile, the DFA on Tuesday reported 146 additional COVID-19 cases among Filipino abroad. According to DFA figures, the modern disease pushed the full Filipino abroad who contracted COVID-19 to 16,569. The DFA moreover said it recorded 9 extra fatalities, bringing the passing to 1,058. To date, the total number of countries and territories with confirmed cases among Filipino abroad is now at 91. Following news report is from a country in Asia and the Pacific, DFA said. In the Philippines, 8,355 modern contaminators were rated on Monday, April 5, driving the cross. The nation count to 803,398, counting 143,726 are active cases. This is Marjo Higan reporting.
Meanwhile, the government of the Philippines has decided to put Manila and the places around it in lockdown to stop the cases from increasing rapidly.
Greetings everyone! Philippines announces strict COVID lockdown in and around Manila. The Philippines will dispose stricter quarantine measures in the capital Manila and nearby provinces. A senior official has said, as the country battles to contain a surge in COVID-19 cases that is putting hospitals under growing strain. From Monday, people will have to work from home unless they are considered essential workers, and public transport will be halted. All mass gatherings will be banned. Nighttime curfews from 6 p.m. to 5 a.m. will be enforced and non-essential businesses will be shut. Again, this is Charlie May Soriano reporting.
Philippines closes border to foreigners and some citizens over COVID. Foreigners and some returning citizens will be prevented from entering the Philippines under the new measures announced by the country's coronavirus task force, as new variants help raise a renewed surge in COVID-19 cases in the Southeast Asian country. Foreign citizens and those returning nationals who had not been working overseas will not be able to enter the country from March 20 until April 19, the Coronavirus Task Force said in a statement issued late on Tuesday. The surge in cases has been linked not only to the emergence of new strains of COVID-19, but also to Filipinos failing to adhere to mask wearing, social distancing, and other measures designed to curb the spread of the virus.
Speaking of foreigners, Philippines warns China of unwanted hostilities in sea dispute. Duterte's top legal counsel warns China's present territorial incursions is an unwelcome stain in closer ties between Beijing and Manila. The presence of Chinese vessels at the disputed reef of the Philippines could ignite unwanted hostilities. A top aide to President Rodrigo Duterte has warned intensifying a diplomatic spat over the ships that Manila described as maritime militia. More than 200 Chinese boats were first spotted on March 7 at Whitsun Reef, approximately 320 kilometers west of Palawan Island within the Philippines Exclusive Economic Zone, or EEZ.
Due to the COVID-19 disease, many Filipinos are jobless because of the community quarantines from last year, and up until now, many are having a hard time looking for a job, especially now that the cases are rising again.
Unemployment worsens with 4.2 million jobless in February according to PSA. Unemployment has worsened with 4.2 million Filipinos reportedly jobless in February this year due to the impact of COVID-19 pandemic, the Philippine Statistics Authority reported on Tuesday. However, employment rates slightly declined to 91.2% from 91.3% in January. MAPA said this discrepancy was due to an increased labor force participation rate of 63.5%, which refers to employed or unemployed Filipinos looking for work. This is higher than January's 65%, which refers to employed or unemployed Filipinos looking for work. This is higher than January's 60.5%. The survey also showed that 1.5% of the employed Filipinos were unable to go to work due to the lockdown restrictions as of last month, a bit higher than January's 0.5%. The top reasons cited for work interruptions during this period were the nature of work, reduction in clients, stricter lockdown rules, and medical limitations. This is Maria Justin Laverita reporting.
Because of COVID-19, fishing is a source of food and income for most Filipino families, but it seems that COVID-19 isn't the only problem that we are facing right now.
Filipino fishing communities find their ways to protect their livelihood against COVID-19 and climate change. Colin Sarinina has been a fisherman for 25 years. The waters around the polar Philippine island of Quezon once provided enough fish to feed his family of 4 kids with some extra cell, but the ants particularly susceptible to the changing climate, and fish folk often go home empty-handed after a day out on the sea. Times have become harder since the coronavirus pandemic struck because the large fish market are closed. Instead, Serenina and the others sell their leftover catch to their neighbors. Communities like Pilar work with conservation and NGO Rare to make sure they have food security into the future. They've established coastal protection areas to allow fish population to recover and have set up saving clubs so fishing families have some cash to fall back on. This is Marijo Higoy reporting.
Lockdown shows negative effects in the lives of every individual, but none of us can deny the fact that the lockdown that brought damage into our lives made our environment shine.
Planet Earth breaths as COVID-19 rages. As Filipinos try to come to terms with the new norm that is community quarantine or lockdown, brought about by the 2019 coronavirus disease or COVID-19, there are a number of reasons why this move is seen as beneficial to planet Earth. In Luzon, the once smog-filled air is clear and streets are visible clean. Thanks to the lockdown, the air quality in Metro Manila has improved by more than 50%, said DENR Undersecretary for Solid Waste Management and Local Government Units Concerns, Benny D. Antiporda. This COVID-19 has positive effects on our planet. Air quality has improved due to the less vehicle flying the streets. We anticipate improved water quality as well. Since the lockdown was implemented, Hotels have fewer clients and restaurants and malls are closed, resulting to a reduction in the discharge of wastewater, said the ENR6 Regional Executive Director Francisco E. Milia Jr. We also learned one very valuable lesson because of COVID-19, and that is the good sanitation. Now we are all conscious about our hygiene, frequent hand washing, and the use of alcohol. Aside from these practices, I also appeal to one and all to learn how to manage their waste. For those who are already practicing waste segregation, composting, and recycling, please continue your efforts. Nothing beats a clean environment for our own sake. Mila added. This is Maria Justin Labrita reporting.
Despite the many challenges, many Filipinos continue to see the good in 2020. They manage to embrace new hobbies, celebrate small and big victories, and find humor in everyday situations. And here is Miss Soriano for our featured news today.
Jolina Magdangal is the cutest plant corner, and we're obsessed with it. She's inspiring us to become a halal mom. One of the people who became a plantita is Jolina Magdangal. She has her prize plants showed off on Instagram, and we can't help but be jealous of her growing collection. She takes care of a lot of cacti, which are very beginner-friendly plants. We can't wait to see your collection grow, Jolina.
You have just heard the most recent headlines that are definitely not biased.
Once again, this is Philippines News Headline.
News without prejudice.
News without exception.
News that inform it how it is.
Once again, I am Antoinette Maria Saulio.
And I am Francine Billy Cruz, bringing you the most breaking headlines from the country. Thank you for being with us.